Hi everyone, in this opportunity we'll be talking about a really interesting topic that in my opinion is very important. The topic is communism, and I want to expose the true face of communism and how bad communism is. Communism is related with Marxism, which soars in Europe by the 19th century with the Karl Marx writing. It started at the beginning. This was considered as a critique to the society, to the capitalism and the society. However, as it spread around the world, it started causing death, repression, and crisis around all the countries which were influenced by communism. For example, in 1917, when the Revolution of October happened, the communism was established in Russia. The Russian Empire disappeared thanks to the communism, and especially thanks to Vladimir Lenin, who was a communist. And when they established the communism in Russia, they started the pursuit against the Romanov family and all those who supported the monarchy in Russia. When Lenin died, the person in charge who continued in charge was Stalin. Stalin is one of the most and the worst murders in the history of human race. And as you know, he created the so-called gulags. In the gulags, the person who was against their ideas were enslaved, and also they worked under the worst condition in Siberia. Also, Stalin is the responsible of the death of over 7 million of Ukrainian people. Those people were demanding their independence from the USSR, and Stalin didn't want them to let them go. He decided to force them to stay and attack them. Also, he stole all his production. That's why so many people died by starvation. On the other hand, we get China, that this is still considered as a communist country. Mao Zedong was the leader, the popular leader of the revolution against the Nationalist Party of China. This conflict started sometime after the end of the Second World War. And as a consequence, there is an establishment of a highly repressive state which controlled everything and violated the human right of its citizens. Plus, China has, even today, a very repressive form of government. Now I would like to talk about my country, Colombia, which has passed through a long conflict thanks to communism. But what is dangerous indeed is not the communist idea. What is dangerous is the guerrillas that have those ideologies. Those ideologies that the state, they defend the interests of the people of Colombia, but actually they have been kidnapping, stealing, and killing the peasants of Colombia. I know maybe some people will think different than me, but the fact is that those guerrillas have existed not only in Colombia but around the world, spreading the red hunger of power and the greed. That greed that have caused death without caring about the others, just thinking about themselves. Finally, I will tell you how I could define the communism. Communism for me is no more than a big failure, the ideology of the misery, a mistake that never should have happened, but unfortunately did. The communism by itself is not harmful, but those ideals have led the world to many disputes, genocides, wars, and death in many countries of Europe, America, and Asia. All then affected in some way by terrorist groups that created chaos only looking for the power through the violence. Due to communism, some countries like Romania, Ukraine, Poland, Germany, and Hungary were invaded. Also, in Asia, countries like China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Afghanistan. We can sadly remember the Cambodian episode where communism caused the worst genocide of the history because they killed one of every four men in the country. And of course in America, where communism has influenced some terrorist groups in countries like Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Uruguay, and Nicaragua. In every country where communism was implemented, this form of government failed and demonstrates that this ideology or any other variation of the socialist utopia has only created problems instead of helping the human race.